हेलो फ्रेंड्स, केजी क्लासेस में आपका स्वागत है। आज हम आपको शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन आंसर ऑफ जोसेफ एडिसन की बताएंगे। क्वेश्चन फर्स्ट, डिस्कस द आर्ट ऑफ करेक्टराइजेशन इन द एसेस ऑफ एडिसन। आंसर, एडिसन स्टैंड आउट रिमार्केबल इन द आर्ट ऑफ करेक्टराइजेशन। हिज करेक्टर स्केच ऑफ हिमसेल्फ एज द स्पेक्टेटर ऑफ सर रोजर डी कावर्ली, सर एंड्रयू फ्रीफोर्ड, बिल हनीकॉम्ब आर immortal creations. Before Edison, character writers bent to the character of the Greek Theophrastus for their model. Their characters are wooden and lifeless, but in the hands of Edison and Steele, this art became personal and intimate. Now, instead of catalogs of qualities, we have real men moving amid real scenes and taking part in real incidents. In these character sketch, we have the seed of the novel of character developed later on in the 19th century. Though in the scared papers of the spectator, we cannot look for that sustained interest which is essential to a novel. This large development in characterization must still be regarded as a stage in the development of genuine novel. In fact, Edison's Coverley papers are a series of character sketches which went a long way in the development of characterization in English novel. Question second, discuss how Edison presents himself as a detached observer. Answer, a spectator represents Edison himself detached from the world but taking pleasure in looking at it. A kind of sage calmly and serenely the varied aspect of social scene. He is the center of a circle which includes representatives of the various sections of society like the country gentleman Sir Roger, the great city merchant Sir Andrew, a clergyman of high moral character, a shrewd liar, a famous soldier Captain Sentry, and a man of world full of innocent hopelessness. Will Honeycomb, the author's intention was to introduce these characters and make them discourse and to epitomize in them a considerable part of the nation. Edison reveals at once the charm of the old England and the coming of the new. He demanded sympathy for both, but his intellectual allegiance is reserved for the sound second. Nevertheless, he wishes the two to understand each other and to live in good accord. Thus, it was sure that the image of spectator, the character, is the image of the writer. The writer observes the problems of the society through the character of spectator. Question third, write a note on essay and simple prose style of Edison. Answer, of Edison's style, Dr. Johnson says, whosoever wishes to attain an English style, familiar but not coarse and elegant but not ostentatious, must give his days and nights to the study of Edison. Benjamin Franklin followed this advice with good results. Edison is regarded as one of the masters of English prose and as one of the greatest prose stylists. He is the postmaster of familiar style, a style which has no pomposity, no presentations, and no affectation. It is free from all obscurities, ambiguities, complexities, or superfluities. Prose had of course been written in many different manners before his time, but it cannot be said that any of those writers had founded a prose style. It was Edison who did so. Edison looked features of his style from almost all his predecessors. He assumes the character of essayist, moralist, philosopher, and critic, but he blends them all together in his new capacity of journalist. He had accepted the public as his judge, and he writes as if some critical representative of public were at his elbow, putting to the test of reason every sentiment and every expression. Question 4. Discuss Edison as a master of model of middle style. Answer. Such an exciting and penetrating critic as Dr. Johnson was all praise for Edison's prose style. He says with confidence, whosoever wishes to attain an English style must give his days and nights to the study of Edison. Further, Dr. Johnson says that Edison's prose is the model of the middle style. It is always equal and always easy without glowing words and painted sentences. He never deviates from his tract to snatch a grace. He seeks no ambitious ornaments and tries no hazardous innovations. His page is always luminous but never blazes in unexpected splendor. It is apparently his principal endeavor to avoid all harshness and severity of diction. He is therefore sometimes verbose in his transition and connections, and sometimes descends too much to the language of conversation. What he attempted, he performed. He is never feeble, and he did not wish to be energetic. He is never rapid, and he never stagnates. His sentences have neither studied amplitude nor affected brevity. His period, through not diligently rounded, are valuable and easy. His language is free from the heaviness of cumbrous formalism and the levity and license of common speech. Question 5. How do Edison and Steele present humor with purpose? Answer. It has been remarked by all critics of Edison that his essays possesses very little of pure humor, as humor intended merely to provoke laughter. Edison's humor has a serious purpose behind it, yet there are here and there scattered among his essays instances which may qualify for pure humor. There is an anecdote in the scope of satire about the man with two wives who pull out all the hair from his head because one does not like white hair and the other dislike black hair. Most of Edison's humor is purposive humor with serious aim. He said that his aim in writing the essays was to banish vice and folly and ignorance from the shores of Great Britain. He tries to do so through laughter, and so did Steele also with him in the development of certain characters. This humor was meant to be collective. It was meant to be enjoyed by his readers, who would readily laugh away their own follies by seeing them portrayed in humorous manner. He had to enliven morality with wit and wit with morality. He was frankly didactic and and more concerned with social reforms than pure entertainment. Thanks, best of luck.